I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Train that went on forever and helped people with their psychological trauma. I've watched a secret government agency which infiltrated every aspect of our culture. All these moments will be lost to time, like tears in the rain.
Howdy, everybody. Bear with us. We're going to try something a little bit different from our usual format. First things first, the introductions. I'm Irish Husky, the founder of this podcast, and I'm joined by my usual cast of friends.
I'm Raccoon Bro, also known as Carrick. It's good to be back after, admittedly, pretty long time. Sorry for the wait, folks.
Hi, I'm Wesley. It's good to see you all again, and good to see we're almost a quarter of the way to YouTube monetization.
Woo!
I'm YoJaps10 and reunited, and it feels so good.
We've got a lot on our plate. Zootopia 2 is coming out next month, but we decided to have a little idea in the interim. Mm-hmm. It's for cartoons that we love that were canceled too soon.
Amen.
Yeah, see, we've been covering a lot of cartoons on this show, most of which have had a pretty strong legacy, but we want to dedicate this episode, and maybe some future episodes, to the ones that didn't get the chance to build that legacy, the ones that just didn't have a chance to find that audience or really build up that major following, or maybe did and got screwed over by the networks anyway.
Yeah, you see, the thing I've noticed is a lot of shows get canceled, and most of them get canceled quick. There's another podcast that does this idea, but we're a little bit more lenient with our criteria. Instead of limiting it to just one season, we're going to say if it had more story to tell, but got cut off quick.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so shows like Gravity Falls, even if we hadn't already covered that ended on Alex Hirsch's own terms, so we're not going to cover it because that was his decision to end it when it did. On the other hand, a show like The Owl House could qualify because it was obvious that Dana Terrace had more that she wanted to say. We're not going to cover it on this show because that show has enough material that it could fill an entire episode on its own, and we feel like it deserves that extra level of attention, should it ever happen.
Yep.
And yeah, especially with animation, it feels like the kind of story that happens all too often, sadly,
yes.
To the point where you become kind of numb to it.
Right.
Yeah, we spun a wheel to determine who would go first. So, Jackson, that was your number. So what do you pick?
There were quite a number of ones I've been thinking about, and like some I'm like, man, I should have done with that one. But overall, my first pick is Super Best Friends Forever by Lawrence Faust and released in 2012.
Good one. Part of the DC Nation block that was trying to cross-promote with Warner Brothers. Only one of those shows went anywhere, and we don't talk about that one.
This was the prequel to the now somewhat successful DC Superhero Girls. I actually don't know like how well that series is done because like I know it went on for a while, but I
got yanked from streaming. So,
well, if I were to quote Mr. Horse on DC Superhero Girls, I would say, no, sir, I don't like it.
The DC Superhero Girls, that was the brainchild of Lauren Faust. I mean, the Best Friends Forever, I mean, that one.
Yeah, the reason I decided to go with this one was because of one big thing. People often mistake DC Super Best Friends Forever for the later version of DC Superhero Girls in 2019. Even to this day, like I talk about Super Best Friends Forever, they're like, "Oh, you're talking about a DC Superhero Girls." I'm like, "No, I'm talking about something that came out earlier and it's so much better."
Yeah,
fool, you know nothing.
Yeah,
these were aired as interstitials in between programming. So, yeah, but there was another show that got started this way. It was called Word Girl.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. I've watched a couple episodes of that show. It's honestly really, really charming.
Yeah, but it started as interstitial programming, where they were using as 2-minute bumpers.
All I know is I loved the hell out of Word Girl as a kid. Like, Word Girl and Super Y, those were my jam on PBS Kids.
Yep. But yeah, back to DC Best Friends Forever. We got established characters all serving together, and it's sort of like a successor to Powerpuff Girls in a way.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. It had elements of the Powerpuff Girls, but it didn't feel like a ripoff. It felt like more of like I was inspired by this, and this is what I'm gonna put on here because it's kind of like my love for cartoons, and it shows.
We even have a blonde brunette and a redhead.
Yeah,
And also Tara Strong is there.
Yeah.
Because it's a Lauren Faust cartoon.
I gotta give it this, some of the voice work, it kind of took me a little bit to recognize who is who. The only one I could kind of tell right away was Nicole Sullivan, but Wonder Girl and Batgirl, it took me a while to figure out, oh, that's, that is Dre and Tara. At first, for Wonder Girl, I thought it was, Sofia Vergara or Salma Hayek, but then I'm like, no, that's Dre Delisle.
I always wonder, when she's voicing Wonder Woman, she does that voice, and I can never really pin what accent she's going for necessarily.
I always thought it was Spanish.
But it's like, why would it be Spanish though for Wonder Woman?
Well, I know Spanish and Greek kind of sound similar phonetically.
When I met Dre Delisle, I actually asked her about that, and she told me it was because to reach back to her old roots, and also to Wonder Girl's old roots because she is Greek. They want to give more more like what she's used to from her own world and such.
No.
Okay, so it wasn't meant to be a Greek accent. Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yes.
I can usually recognize Gray's voice pretty easily, even though she doesn't use the exact same voice every time, but I actually did have to look it up to figure out that it was her. On the other hand, I did figure out it was Tara Strong for Batgirl right away.
Oh yeah, I mean, she has one of the most recognizable voices.
It's basically just her Timmy Turner voice.
I will say the only reason I could tell right away it was Gray's voice is because she did a very similar voice as the grandma in Book of Life, who has that one line.
Yeah.
She has that one line where she dies, and they're like, "Grandma, what happened to you? Too much cholesterol." That's it.
Isn't it the movie that people accuse Coco of being a ripoff of?
Yes.
Yeah, even though it's totally not.
Because, as we all know, there can only be one Western animated film about the Day of the Dead.
There can only be one.
Yep. But Super Best Friends is very nice with the slapstick elements. It lets these characters be themselves in a way too.
Yeah. I also like the accent of Superman in that one short and how he acts as kind of like a big brother figure to Supergirl.
Yeah, he looked like Professor Utonium.
Like
the way his head was shaped.
Yeah, I like how they made Superman kind of a big brother here too. Unlike these newer girls where they would just turn him into a glory hog like Gaston.
Oh, yeah, I guess that kind of weird, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was kind of one of the major downfalls of DC superhero girls is that it felt like there was a lot of bias when it came to some of the superhero portrayals to where it felt kind of nasty at points.
Yeah.
And another thing also,
especially that one Robin.
Yeah, and another thing also that bothered me about superhero girls, why are they teenagers? Why are they in high school? Historically, every portrayal of these characters has had them be young adults, like mid-20s at the oldest. I could probably buy if they were in college, if this was a university show, but there were teenagers. In these shorts, they're very clearly adults and have adult problems.
Well, I mean, it's like one of those things where you want to appeal to the target demographic, I suppose.
Yeah, but SpongeBob is an adult and he appeals to the demographic fine.
He-Man, Thundercats.
But to be fair, sponges can live hundreds of years, so by sponge years, he is a kid.
Yep, that's right.
With characters as that have dated back for as long as especially comic book characters, I understand wanting to, mess with the formula a little bit and try something new. It doesn't always work, but I can respect the, effort at least. So you're not always doing the same thing over and over again. Not saying it worked. I'm just saying it could have.
Yeah. I mean, there's a way to do, teenage superheroes well. It has been done well. It's called Sky High.
Yeah.
That was my jam.
Or Teen Titans.
Or maybe Kim Possible in a way. She's a spy, but she's still a hero.
That's true.
Right.
It was also interesting how one of the shorts in here, where Batgirl was late for the gig, the rescuing gig. It eventually got turned into a theatrical short that was basically a beat for beat remake of it. Like I watched the two back to back, and it was crazy how similar they were. Major differences was more of the cast was there, and Wonder Woman had to very out of nowhere like name drop everybody just to catch you the audience up to speed. And instead of Poison Ivy, it was Mr. Freeze, voiced by John Delancey for some reason. Even though it was only one line.
Yeah, John Delancey doesn't appear at all in the rest of the show, or Mr. Freeze for that matter.
I thought it was funny with Solomon Grundy where he would not fight girls. He's like, I may be a hard criminal, but I respect women.
Yeah.
By the end of it, he was like, Solomon Grundy reconsidering.
That was like that Family Guy joke where Meg kills the giant chicken because the chicken says, I don't want to harm a lady, and he gets killed.
It's like, well, you should have harmed that lady.
That's no lady, that's Meg. But I like that short. I like that short because he's trying not to be sexist, but ends up being accidentally sexist. He's not treating them like equals; he's treating them as lesser, and as if fighting them would be beneath him. And so they kick his ass to prove that no, he's beneath them.
You guys ever seen 21 Jump Street? And
yes,
you know what scene I'm talking about. It's like, dude, did you just punch that guy? I didn't know that he was gay. Did you punch him because he was gay? Well, I think it would have been more mean for him to not punch him specifically because he's gay.
That's pretty good. Yep. And we had a lot of the stories around here where they just go for a little bit. And it's funny how they can cram it all in bite-sized chunks. One thing I'm always impressed by with SpongeBob and Powerpuff Girls is they have such a short window to time the story, so every second counts. So you get a lot of jokes. So even in these interstitials, they make them count.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I think my favorite bit was it doesn't matter how hard Superman is trying to get Supergirl to go back in the house. It's Ma Kent's disapproving stare that does it.
That was my favorite joke too.
That was my favorite one too.
I remember.
Have you guys seen the 2025 Superman movie?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that needed more of Ma Kent.
Yeah, it did.
I love the scenes with his parents in that film.
I remember a YouTube comment once said, "When the going gets tough, Superman calls for his mommy."
Ma. I couldn't tell who that was voicing Superman in that short.
I think it was Keith Ferguson.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. Wasn't this an inspiration for your big story, Jackson?
Oh, heck yes. Like, Batgirl was, it was the new Batman Adventures Batgirl, but when I saw this, I'm like, I kind of want to put this in. And, it ended up fitting a lot more with the tone what I was going for, it's right for the dead, so that Steven Universe came out about a little boy with 3 female guardians. I swear this is coincidence. I swear it is.
Well, you're already using a fanfic of copyrighted characters anyway, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah, and I really do believe if it wasn't for this, as well as Teacher's Pet, which features Spot, I don't know where Anime Shaders would even be if it didn't include those characters.
So this really was a pivotal set of shorts for you then.
Yeah, like Wesley said, even though each short is a minute and 17 seconds long, I counted, they put in a lot in them, and it's very nice and memorable stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing how much they were able to get out of the little time that they had. I could eat an entire pizza in the time it takes to watch these shorts. I'm assuming the rest of you can, right?
Yep,
totally.
I was able to try that.
As long as it's one of those bagel bites. I like to take my time with those.
You and me both.
I guess there's one more thing I want to talk about more is Nicole Sullivan. I really like her portrayal of Supergirl, and I've grown up with Nicole Sullivan's voice a lot, and it's really nice hearing her here.
Yeah, I knew her most for Penguins of Madagascar.
I knew her best for Miranova in Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
I knew her as Chico and Joan of Arc.
Honestly, I knew her. I just knew her as the female best friend on King of Queens.
Oh yeah.
I had to look her up, saw what she looked like, and oh yeah, that's the ditzy best friend.
I always assumed that for some reason I thought that she voiced the lead girlfish in Shark Tale. I think she and Renee Zellweger kind of have similar voice palettes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been rewatching Shark Tale and oh man, it's memorable as hell.
Right, but that casting was pretty crazy. You had future Academy Award winner Will Smith. You had Academy Award winners Renee Zellweger and Angelina Jolie. You had Martin Scorsese as sixth billing,
and you had future Bowser Jack Black.
Yeah.
And don't ask why Martin Scorsese is the best performer in this film. He just is. And don't ask why he's never voice acted in anything ever again.
Yeah. But what black magic did they have to do to get all these people?
They told them that it was a fish movie, but they didn't show them any imagery.
Hey, work for Shrek. Clearly, wait for this.
Okay.
Actually, they did show imagery. When they showed a sketch of Martin Scorsese, like the pufferfish, he fell over laughing and took the part.
No, that's funny.
Because it's like they're all like caricature versions of the actors playing them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I know they didn't have the technology back then, but it's like, hey, we're gonna put you in this fish app. Wouldn't it be funny? And we're gonna put the face app on you, and then the actors see it and they're like, yeah, that would be funny. And then that's how ideas are born in Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah.
How on earth did we get to talking about Shark Tale?
Yeah. So is Carrick next in order?
Yes.
Yes, I am. Mine is a failed pilot. It was from one of my all-time favorite animators, Torian Crawford. I've been following him for over a decade, and he was the lead 3D animator on Death Battle. And he was responsible for classics like Solid Snake versus Sam Fisher, Deadpool versus Deathstroke, etc. And Rooster Teeth was doing a thing called Neon Kobeni, it could have been like similarly related to it, but basically they were giving their animators like a chance to do a bunch of pilots to like see stuff come off the ground. Spoiler alert, but fucking none of them were able to do anything because, the company shut down. But one of the shorts that stuck with me the most was Torian's original show called Action Bots. Right. And it is a very, very simple concept. It is about a scientist doing like experiments with like 3 robot creations. It's kept intentionally vague,
right.
It's like
I noticed there was a very musical element to it, like the animation's timed to the music, like Tom and Jerry.
I love when that
happens. There's absolutely no dialogue in it. It is all in the character animation and the way they interact with each other. And since it's in the title, the action is like the main draw, the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Yeah, and it was done through the Unreal Engine, one of the key components for game modding. So it's pretty cool how they were able to make it go this far.
Yeah, and it's really sad because it was a passion project of his that he did with several people, and they had a bunch of other episodes written as well that they would have wanted to do if the pilot had been picked up. And it's even sadder to me is that he posted it on his personal channel, and it hasn't even hit 1,000 views yet. That
really?
was posted and it was posted in 2022.
Well,
so it's
that's less than a view a day.
I know.
Ridiculous.
And like, you guys are sleeping on this thing, man. It has everything going for it. Like the music, like timed with the action, the facial expressions on the robots are a lot of fun. The motion capture action, like the choreography is so incredibly tight. And the way they're playing around with the rising platforms for the environment and seeing the worried expressions on the scientists, like to make sure that they're staying safe, like while like fighting over this balloon. The fact is, like, it's the kind of concept where you could do so many different things with it. It would be like a different subject for them to play around with and test like every single short. And I'm very sad that we can't see any more from it now.
For a few seasons, there's a lot you can do with it.
Yeah,
and intentionally simple setups like that, I feel, work best for these kinds of dialogue-less shorts.
right.
And because like any Tom and Jerry short could be summarized in one sentence, and some of that.
Yeah, it goes with the classic red, blue, green color palette. As with the Subuffs.
Yeah.
But when
Amphibia, Powerpuff Girls. Trying to think what.
So when I saw this for the first time, and seeing the brief snippets of their personality just in the way that they move, first thing that came to my mind, and this is usually the first thing that comes to my mind whenever I see any animated trio, was Ed, Edd, and Eddy.
Oh yeah,
and it's not hard to pinpoint which one corresponds to which Ed boy. I don't remember the colors off the top of my head. I just remember
dumb guy,
one
a
of them
smart
was
guy, and a showy guy.
Right. I just remember one of them being the clear airhead, so obviously that one was Ed, and one being a little more hot-headed.
Yeah, Blue was definitely more of like a prankster, and Green was a lot more lackadaisical compared to them, and I think like Red was definitely more of a trickster.
Right.
And I think I'd say Blue used a lot more like brute force tactics as well. And
I get it now. It's the Freudian dynamic. You have the id, the ego, and the superego.
Yeah. I would probably posit. I think I would probably posit Blue as the best like pure hand-to-hand fighter, with Red as a close second, whereas Green like tries to do more creative stuff, like when he was tying up Red's hands with the balloon and then kicking him away right after.
Right.
And
I gotta say,
like
I gotta say,
go ahead.
I was impressed with the balloon animation in particular. I don't know much about what goes into animation. I know it's very complicated. I can only imagine how tough it is to get the balloon stuff right because of the helium and the way that it moves differently from solid objects.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting that to move like an actual balloon would. I can't imagine how much research has to go into that and how much effort has to go into making it look that realistic.
Yeah, not to mention the shine. You have to get a specific shine on it.
And I appreciated the sound design on it as well. You could hear like all the little just like rubbing on it every time they would grab it or like start smushing it in when they like held it up to their chest. It had a very consistent material feeling to it, which helped make. And the same goes for any time the punches are landed as well, because like these are some powerful as hell robots. Like why would he give these toddlers so much power? Did you guys have any favorite choreography bits?
I would probably say like the beginning where they're being introduced.
I'll second that because I don't remember too many of the specifics.
Yeah. I'm personally a big fan of when the 1-inch punch came out, or when he was when Green was being thrown around like a rag doll all around him, or especially the sequence when they're all falling from the tower at the same time and they're having to like jump back and forth along all the falling debris and like dragging each other across the column. A lot of different moving parts going into it. That's fun to break down frame by frame.
You said this was animated in Unreal Engine?
That's right, Unreal Engine 4.
Do you know if there have been any feature films using Unreal Engine as the primary source?
Good question. Let me check that out.
Yeah,
I know Flo did Blender.
Yeah, because that's where I was going. If a movie can use Blender and win an Oscar from it, imagine what you could get from Unreal Engine.
Looks like Love, Death, and Robots use Unreal Engine.
Yeah, but that's like a handful of episodes. Love, Death, and Robots is pretty cool, though. That could be a future episode.
Yeah,
for sure. Apparently, it's also mostly used for live-action films, so stuff like Dune and the Little Mermaid remake.
I see.
Right.
So So
It only a matter of
CG
time,
effects.
though, before we get a Geno Zibalotis who can just go to town. By the way, I just got Flo on Criterion, so they have his early shorts on the disc.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was part of my collection of every best animated feature winner. So,
Nice.
Ah.
So,
Gotcha.
is that a physical copy then?
yep.
Cool.
But yeah, I think that's good. I think it's your turn, Nick.
Yes. All right. So there's one show in particular that basically inspired this entire cancel too soon idea. We are not going to talk about that now. Instead, we're going to talk about Fillmore.
Yeah. Filling out the time.
Yes.
Yeah, Fillmore's
Fillmore.
a pretty fun show. I remember it being on when I was a kid.
Yeah. So Fillmore is a show from the early 2000s. Ran for 2 seasons from 02 to 04. I believe it originally aired during ABC's Saturday morning block.
Yeah.
And the reason it was on my radar is because it was the show they showed right before recess. Anyway, so Fillmore is a parody of cop shows. The premise is very simple. Follows 2 members of the ex-middle school safety patrol, Cornelius Fillmore and Ingrid Third. They
Also
investigate.
voiced by Tara Strong.
Yes. And for the record, Fillmore is voiced by Orlando Brown, who would go on to play Raven's friend Eddie.
Yeah.
So the crimes involve things like vandalizing bathroom stalls, conspiring to steal the answers to a math test, selling counterfeit baseball cards, sabotaging a model train convention. Things that you wouldn't see in a typical middle school, but don't go to the level of like actual crimes that you could go to jail for, because it still takes place in a middle school.
Yeah, funny you should bring up Recess because this is on about that level. It's a little bit implausible, but at the same time, it's what a child would fantasize about. It's how they would see the world.
Right.
Yeah, and let's not forget, the narration was done by the late, the great Don LaFontaine.
Yes.
The trailer guy. Yeah,
That was
it
the most
funny.
surprising thing when I watched that first episode, hearing his
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Well, he was in Phineas and Ferb, so
Oh yeah.
oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this
it was
was.
his last. I think it was his last gig before he died.
Oh wow. So
What a legend.
So yeah, Fillmore came out around a time where cartoons usually paid homage to genres that were typically reserved for adults. Like Recess was a parody of prison shows, Kim Possible was a spy thriller, and here you've got a cop show on the level of something like Miami Vice.
According to the bios, they say Fillmore's like a reformed delinquent who becomes a safety.
His whole thing is that he used to be a troublemaker, and the safety patrol is what got him to turn his life around, and now he dedicates all of his time making sure other students don't get in trouble and busting any students who try to make trouble.
Right. Well, they do talk a lot about how former criminals go on to become police officers, so they're kind of playing off that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah,
A lot of the show's humor just comes from how seriously they take their particular interests in relation to the case. Like the very first episode is all about graffitiing bathroom stalls. Not only do you have a character who's obsessed with bathroom stalls in particular, but you also have a character who's like a parody of Hannibal Lecter, who's kept in social isolation because he was such a massive tagger. Just the fact that they're referencing Silence of the Lambs in a show like this.
And because it's animation.
It's not out of character for this period of animation, but at the same time, the way, just how seriously they're taking it, it really does add to the absurdity and therefore the humor.
And because it's animation, they're able to get away with more outlandish things, like how he's somehow able to write with the pencil, on the roof of his isolated room, even though there isn't any furniture for him
One
to
of the
reach
few
up there.
episodes I remember watching as a kid was the one with the chess club where they had the whitest rapper ever as their chess representative.
I do remember that.
Yes.
You know what you guys said about Songs of the Lambs? It reminded me of a South Park episode where we see this little kid in like juvenile hall because he was toilet papering people's houses, and he acts exactly like Hannibal Lecter.
Well, I was thinking Fairly Odd Parents. I think Auntie Cosmo did a direct reference or something.
Yeah, he said, "Hello, Clarice."
Yep. but they had that sort of thing. They're going with Fillmore, and it was pretty funny how they got it. And the show does play itself like a mystery. Right. Where you unravel it. For me, the big test of a mystery is the rewatch value. Like Usual Suspects has a fun twist, but for me, once I knew the twist, there was nothing to it. But Fillmore, you actually put it all together and it does hold up. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, it makes sense he'd sabotage himself.
Yeah, one of the episodes I rewatched recently was called Next Stop Armageddon, and that's the one with the model train convention that gets sabotaged. It shows off this one kid who's like a master at model train design, and the way it's set up, you're thinking, oh, once he's introduced, he's going to be the culprit of whatever happens. And as the episode goes on, you start to think, oh, maybe it's someone else because, why would he sabotage the whole thing? And spoilers, I guess, at the end of it all, he was the one who sabotaged it. So kind of a misdirection of a misdirection there.
Yeah. And the testing episode was ahead of its time.
Yeah. That one stands out just because of how much it shows the stress of standardized tests on the students taking it. Because, the big consequence of not getting the tests back is that they have to take it again. We've already been through this hell once. Why would we want to do it a second time?
I felt that pain firsthand when I had to do those.
Yeah. I personally never minded standardized testing, but I can definitely see how it would be a major stressor for a lot of people. So, the fact that this was definitely not a thing. I think The Simpsons had an episode like this as well. I can't remember if it was before or after Fillmore because the show just keeps going.
I think it was around the same time, actually.
Early 2000s? Was it before the first movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's just say I'm very happy I don't have to go to school again.
Yeah, the SATI 9 is what they called it. It's better than what they call it. In Virginia, they call our standardized test SOL. I'm not kidding.
Out of luck.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, in my profession, I still have to take tests if I want raises and certification. I'm actually studying for one of those right now. Let me tell you, not fun. Anyway, there are two other episodes that I wanna highlight real quick. They're my two favorites. One of them is called A Cold Day at X. This is the one where Fillmore decides to stay in the school overnight to guard the answers to a pre-algebra test. And during that night, the school actually gets snowed in, so he's got the school all to himself. But a group of students who want to steal the tests anyway come in to try and steal it while the school is completely closed and no one's guarding it. And what I like about this episode is actually the lesson, where there's a point where the perpetrators, they have to make a choice between getting the answers to the test or saving Fillmore's fish, who is at risk of freezing to death outside. And they decide to save the fish. Yeah, the real lesson is if you give people a chance to make the right choices, a lot of the times they will. And that's
the shopping cart theorem.
Yeah, that's the lesson that the math teacher was trying to give to Fillmore at the beginning, because she straight up told her class that she was leaving the answers in her desk and she was leaving the door unlocked. She was trusting her students to play honorably, and at the end of the day, that's exactly what they did. The value of X is always constant, which is not just a lesson in algebra, but also a lesson in
in real life.
Yeah, just one of those things where sometimes you can even surprise yourself,
right?
When it comes to the
it's also one
integrity.
Of the few episodes where Ingrid isn't directly with Fillmore. They're usually partners in crime, but she still gets to use her superior intellect to help from the comfort of her own house.
Right, that's neat.
The other episode that stands out to me is Immune to All But Justice. And this is the episode where the son of a Canadian diplomat has diplomatic immunity. So he's basically allowed to run his counterfeit baseball card operation without interference from the safety patrol. And Fillmore and Ingrid decide, screw this, we're going to bust him anyway. And by the way, that episode has a guest star in Francesca Marie Smith, who you might recognize as the voice of Helga Pataki.
Interesting. Didn't think she did other stuff, but that's cool.
Yeah. Fillmore doesn't really have that large of a following. It still doesn't have a release on Disney Plus, but that episode actually does have one scene that's been memed a little bit. It's the final scene where Fillmore is having dinner with Smith's character, Penny, and he finds out that after the Canadian diplomat's son was busted, she was going to continue the operation herself. And Fillmore decided that he wasn't going to go down like that, and whatever feelings he has for Penny, he wasn't going to let that get in the way of what was important to him. And it ends with him saying this following line.
One last thing, baby. That chicken was dry. Real dry.
That's funny. But yeah, this one not being on Disney Plus is kind of surprising. They have their most obscure catalog, like Gummy Bears and Tailspin, but they don't have this.
They don't have The Weekenders either, which actually ran for 4 seasons, so does not qualify for this show. I think the reason the show got canceled is because it might have just taken itself a little bit too seriously. Like, you compare it to something like Recess, I think that has more of an appeal to its target audience. And I think Fillmore just failed to capture them the same way. So, when it was put in a similar time slot as Recess, I think Recess ended up getting a lot more attention. So eventually Disney and ABC decided to pull it after 2 seasons. I do think it deserves to be on Disney Plus, but at the very least, you can watch every episode on YouTube for completely free.
In 4K.
It's and just they're all fully there, and it hasn't been hit by YouTube Kids either. So you got people in the comments. Not really. I noticed like most comments on those types of videos aren't really talking about the episode themselves. They're just saying something along the lines of like, "Bless you, YouTube channel, for giving us this. Oh yes, thank you for posting this." Okay, are you going to talk about the episode or?
Yeah. Also, the fact they've been re-uploaded and uploaded in 4K shows Disney probably doesn't care about it.
True. Yeah. There's another Disney show that's uploaded on YouTube for completely free that the Disney Corporation hasn't touched, and we'll be saving that for a later episode of Cancelled Too Soon.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
I will say,
now it's finally my turn. Well, I've been waiting to do this show since we started focusing on cartoons.
If it's all right, could I play devil's advocate for a moment on like why Fillmore might have been canceled so soon?
Sure.
I respect the hell out of it for being sticking to its tone of being like as deadpan and dead serious as possible with it. I think that makes the world feel a lot more unique, and I love that. That could have also been part of its like disadvantage as well, because I could imagine myself as a kid, like possibly other kids, maybe being a little bit bored by it, by like how dry it is. Like maybe they just wouldn't get it yet. Like maybe it would be a bit too grown up for them. So, like, from that perspective, I can see why Disney didn't really want to take the chance anymore.
I can see that, because
wanting something more bombastic, I guess.
I do remember this. I do remember the show being advertised on ABC's Saturday morning lineup, but I never actually went out of my way to watch it myself until very recently. It definitely does feel like one of those shows that you appreciate more when you're an adult than when you're a kid. So,
right, I felt like that. I heard a lot of people talking about shows that were quote unquote for older kids or out of the range. I remember watching Pepper Ann when I was way young for it. Yeah. And then when I got older, I was like, wow, this show's good. Y'all slept on it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a similar thing to shows like Dan Versus as well, where it's like most kids are probably not going to get the humor in this thing because it's like a lot more subtle than they would probably catch on to.
Right.
But it's just one of those things, and I'm glad that it gained a cult following in spite of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Yep. My turn now.
Oh yeah, I got that on my chest. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I've been waiting to do this show since we started the Cartoon Chatterbox portion of it. It's a show that is near and dear to my heart and really got this entire community together. I'm talking, of course, about Infinity Train.
The show that I watched in 5 days for this thing, including finishing season 4, literally right before we started recording.
Right, yeah. It's pretty cool because this was a show I watched from the start. It's both the luckiest and unluckiest show in Cartoon Network history.
I'd like to hear your thoughts about that.
Well, the pilot in 2016, I remember that being a big event.
Right. It was a really cool idea. Like to start with, I think it was Charlene Yee was voicing Tulip in that as opposed to Ashley Johnson.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. But did you watch the pilot when it came out? Because I remember watching it because I was doing classes at the time, so I watched it in a bathroom stall as I was going to light off for classes.
I don't think I watched it like when it came out. I don't believe I was
but I was hyped. I was talking with some fans and it seemed like it united the community together and we were anticipating a full series. Victor and Valentino came out the same day. That show's good, but it didn't have the same reach. Mm-hmm. But we waited and I honestly kind of expected it because if you don't know, animation lead time is about 3 years.
Yeah, Charlene Yee. She was the voice of Ruby from Steven Universe.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that basically what that means is all animation news is about 3 years behind.
Yeah, it can be tough for animated shows, especially these days, to maintain an audience after.
Yeah, when you hear about a show being greenlit for a second season before the first one airs, that's because of production time. Usually it means the first season's done and they're waiting to work on more.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But yeah, they were doing this, so there was talks and whispers. They had it through Cartoon Network Studios, and then finally in August of 2019 it aired, and I had to work.
Aww.
But I watched it when I got home.
Yay!
And I'm assuming it hooked you right away.
Yep, it hooked me right away. It kept things going. It moved along. The third episode's basically a remake of the pilot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really. Okay, so I think with this one, it's best to take it book by book. There are 4 of them.
Yeah, there were supposed to be 8, but we can't have nice things.
I'm really hoping he's apparently Owen Dennis is still fighting to like get distributors to pick it back up because he is still wanting to tell more of the story. I'm rooting for him. I hope he's able to. But.
Yeah, like it could be like Final Space, which got a graphic novel.
Yeah, but until then, we start off with book 1. It's about Tulip, who is a 12-year-old video game designer, and she was hoping to go to a game design camp, but
in Oshkosh.
Yeah, and her parents messed up the scheduling because like they're dealing with a separation, and that caused Tulip to run away and get sucked into the Infinity Train, which is essentially Polar Express but for therapy. I think is the best.
Right? Yeah, it appears to you when you're at your darkest moment.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the draw of that first season is figuring out the mechanics of how the train works, because she just has this number on her hand, and it takes a while for us to figure out what it actually is, because I assumed at first that what it was is that, oh, that's how many cars she needs to go through in order for it to go down. That's not the case. Oh, it's about like getting a timer down. No, or if you gotta get there before it reaches 0 or you die. No, it's not that. And it's cool seeing her use her game designer logic throughout the show, which is I love that they incorporated her interests into the mystery solving in a natural way like that.
Right. Yep. But yep. Oh, yep. So of course, 1-1 is like speaks to me. He's one of the best characters I've ever seen.
I fell in love with 1-1 from the very beginning. He is such a charming little guy. And his split personality is a very fun gimmick. And Sad One is voiced by Owen Dennis himself, which we love creators giving themselves acting billing.
Yeah.
I think Glad One, I imagine him being voiced by the same person that voices Pim from Smiling Friends.
Yeah, they do have a very similar timbre and a joyful energy.
Right,
Oh yes, we're happy to see you and going for it. Life is a walking shadow.
I just realized something. The two main players in this book are 1-1 and 2 Lip.
Right.
I wonder if that was intentional.
Right.
You know, I will say 1-1 kind of reminds me of that Family Guy universe where everyone has a two heads, one happy, one sad. Remember that episode?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That's pretty funny.
The president's dog just had puppies. There was a
plane crash.
Classic.
Yep, but they work it out. They go through the motions, and I will tell you, the word up scene had me die of laughter.
I had no idea where that was going. So when that showed up, that was great. Fantastic cameo from cameo.
I love that song.
Yeah, but I was dying when they played it.
It was really cool, like hearing the crystals like get into it and like provide the actual instrumental for it.
Right.
When I hear like the whistling sound.
Yeah, and someone was asking, why is she so nasally? Why is she singing like that? That's how the song is.
Have you never listened to Word Up?
Around the world.
Yep. Tell all the boys and girls.
Yep. Oh, fun fact about that music video: it stars LeVar Burton.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. But they had that moment, and they kept things going. And as an anthology, you don't really know what to expect. That's what kept me guessing.
It's an interesting kind of anthology in that, at least for the first 3 seasons, they are all separate stories, but they like build upon each other, and they give you more insight into the cart, like the train, and the lore behind it, but also one-off characters that were introduced in the previous season got to be the main focus later on.
Right.
Yeah, I think the cat is the unifying figure here. She's voiced by Janeway. Don't know if you watch Star Trek, but that's who she has a very
cool voice.
Yeah, I remember. I recognize that voice. Kate Mulgrew, her name is.
Yep, that's right.
And Ernie Hudson as Atticus. Yep. That was actually it's so cool to hear. I love that guy.
I just gotta say, I love that the third car is just a corgi world. Because I like dogs in general, but my younger brother, he has a corgi. He brings him over to my parents' house whenever he visits from the city, and he is just the best boy ever. Unfortunately, he's a Pembroke, not a Cardigan. But still, corgis are corgis as far as I'm concerned. So, Atticus holds a special place in my heart just for that.
Yeah, they have that, and they going. And isn't it crazy how the episode called "The Ball Pit Car" is the most depressing?
Yeah, it started off so chill too. Like they were going along with that bunny guy's trials, and it was really cute. But then all of a sudden, the whole thing got messed up, and I was like, no, the world was so perfect before.
It was close enough to the end of the season that I knew something was about to give, but still, come on. Oh, by the way, I love how one of the prizes was just a Randall in a jug.
But let's be fair, 8/10, 80%, that's usually where the twist comes in the story.
Right.
I will say though, I first thought that Atticus was Idris Elba, but then I'm like, no, wait, that's Ernie Hudson.
I thought he was Kevin Michael Richardson.
He's not British enough.
Right, but then we had and we had the moment of introspection, and we learn, oh wait, there's more to the story. There's a mystery in here.
And they have. I think it was. I think was it the crystal car where she began to realize how the numbers like started to work. And,
right, yeah.
like,
They
yeah,
go up and down depending on how you progress in the story.
and she learned to at that point it's like we gotta take our time here. There's no point in rushing. That's not gonna help. Gotta stop and smell the roses and maybe help some people out.
Right.
And
I really want to see whatever that dinosaur kickball train was.
Yeah, that was fun. That was done specifically for the trailer because
we'll never forget you guys. What was their name?
Who are they?
I don't remember.
Right, but yeah,
I love how each episode starts with them coming out from a different train that we don't get to see.
Yeah, I always appreciate those kinds of gags where it's like they give you a little taste of like, oh man, that was the coolest thing ever. Anyway, now we're time to never talk about that again.
It's like the hour episode of Smiling Friends.
Yeah,
Charlie and Pim apparently have the greatest adventure ever, and we don't get to see.
Yeah, I gotta say, Pim, that was like probably like top 10 adventures that we've been on, man.
Oh, speaking of, isn't season 3 like ongoing?
Yeah, the first episode aired last week.
Oh, sweet.
The guy that they're trying to make smile is voiced by the guy who did the Pipe Rock Theory video, which is one of the best videos on the internet. I highly recommend you watch that.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the Course of Infinity train. We solved the plot twist. 1-1 becomes conductor again, and we learned that Amelia had been sabotaging the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about that twist is that even though it turns out 1-1 was the conductor all along, it's like it's not treated as this overly dramatic, like, oh, this changes everything. No, he's still like the same lovable ball that we know and love, and like Tulip is like really happy that they were able to figure that out, and it's more like oh yeah, I am the conductor. Time to make things right.
I like the running plot where he's looking for his mom. That's the whole thing. Are you my mom?
Look, it's a whole room full of mums.
You know, I can see why you took a liking to him, Wesley.
Yeah.
It turned out the mom he was looking for was inside of him all along.
Yep.
I gotta say, Ashley Johnson does a really good job at voicing Tulip, even if half of her dialogue is just screams and grunts.
Yeah.
Ashley Johnson is a mega goated voice actor.
Yeah.
And it's especially impressive that she's able to play two different characters at the same time in the
and they sound completely different. We'll get to that book too. But honestly, she voiced another one of my favorite decades ago, and that's how she cemented herself in my conscience. She was Tara.
Yeah, that was a big one for a lot of cartoons.
Is she Tara in Go?
Yes.
Oh, cool, sweet.
They basically got everyone back in the cast.
I mean, that's nice that they keep her going. So I'm like, no wonder Tulip resonated with me.
Tara from what now?
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
Oh. I was trying to see how the timeline worked out on that, because would she be too young? Then I remembered I'm thinking of Haley Steinfeld, another goated voice actress.
You think of that. But yeah, she's doing that. But let's see where else. She's also Ashley Johnson's also in Minecraft story mode.
Isn't she the voice of Ellie in The Last of Us?
Yes.
That is.
And she sings a different '80s song in that.
Take on Me.
That's
True Faith by New Order.
Oh,
I think I do remember that there's a guitar playing mechanic in the second game, and I remember some Let's Players. They played Take on Me like with the actual chords of it.
Yeah, I'd like to see someone do that, but with Word Up. Yep. But it's pretty interesting because each season builds into the next, and it's usually through a pivotal episode. And this one, it's the mirror car.
Oh yeah, she's also Gwen in Ben 10. I forgot about that.
Chrome car, right?
So the Chrome car, this was a sort of the big mid-season one, and this is where we meet Mirror Tulip. And
nope, that's dead naming.
Well, here's it. I wanna save her name for later when we talk
that's
about
right,
book
because it's a
two,
big thing.
The former reflection formerly known as Mirror Tulip.
Yeah. I want to get into like the thematic element of it,
right?
And
The
lean into
reflection,
that.
yeah, the thematic elements were going to be a little bit more blatant, but Cartoon Network wimped out.
Yeah, luckily I think they still managed to make it work. But before we get to that, the mirror concept that they did establish in that episode, really creepy to think about. Just that you can have your reflection just always looking at you and knowing all the time about the things you're doing. And not only that, but when they escape from it, the constant running threat of that, oh, the police, if she looks in literally any reflection at all, the police immediately like clock her number. Like that is like horror movie shit.
Right. But I kind of feel like having your reflection be aware of you is a fantasy most of us kids have.
Yeah. Dabs self up and punches mirror.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it was really cool, like seeing them come to an understanding with each other. It gave me a lot of Celeste vibes, like with Madeline.
Oh yeah, Celeste. That's right. I played that.
It's kind of a similar relationship there, but it was really cool that Tom's like, nah, you guys keep going. I'm gonna go my own way, figure things out.
And that's how we get season 2.
Yes.
Which is my personal favorite season of the bunch.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. That season gets a little ignored sometimes. Season 1 is the most iconic. Season 3, which we'll get to, is the most acclaimed. But season 2 has a lot of stuff in it too.
Here's how I see it. Season 1 is my comfort season. I could like rewatch that one constantly. But season 2, like I think like the character dynamics and the thematic element of it is really strong and strikes a chord with me. And also the fact that we already know about the mechanics of the Infinity Train a lot more going into it. It gives them more room to explore those characters, and so we don't have to worry as much about establishing the rules this time.
Right, and yeah, I think Tulip and Jesse have the best. The reflection and
we'll say
Jesse,
MT for now.
MT and the reflection have the best dynamic of the main characters.
It was really cool
MT
hearing
sounds
Robbie.
like empty. Do you think that's a coincidence?
Symbolism!
I wonder. But it was cool hearing Robbie Damon in a cartoon, because I know him mostly for video games and anime, and it was especially jarring hearing him play such a likable character, because he's normally known for playing sociopaths that are pretending to be likable.
Really?
So yeah, this was a pleasant change of pace, and he did a really good job. He and Ashley Johnson are hilarious together, especially whenever they're arguing over Alan Dracula, which is the best pet name I've ever heard in my life.
Right. But it's pretty nice. Ashley Johnson voices a different character, and she sounds different too.
Because it's still her voice, but you can the way that she speaks and like her inflections are like just subtle enough to where I would like be able to still know who's talking. And of course, also the audio effects help a little bit too. But that's neither here nor there.
And this season has the Toad card. Did anyone else think it'd be the Hypnotoad?
What if that was the entire episode, just the Hypnotoad staring?
Yeah.
I think please don't kick me. That made me laugh so hard. The way he said that. Please, just if you're gonna kick me, make it fast. The waiting's the hardest part. Please don't kick me.
Oh, that episode was amazing.
Yeah,
and they didn't even kick him.
And then we finally also get a look at the Wasteland.
Which took about half the time was just spent in Alan Dracula's antlers.
Yes.
But just
that
the idea
was
of half
really,
of that,
really
of
intense.
the whole episode being spent with half the body of one of the mirror officers.
It is amazing how much violence you're able to get away with in a kids show, as long as you're not actually showing red blood.
Right.
Something that Samurai Jack
fine.
and Transformers know about.
Yeah.
And so Infinity Train took that to full use here with possibly one of the most brutal enemy like death scenes as well. Him being just like slammed into the wheel of the train. Like, oh my gosh, like I jumped out of my seat a little bit from how surprised I was by that.
Yeah.
Good lord, that
It's like hell, but also at the same time, like hell yeah, fuck those guys.
exactly
Right, yeah. That's, and being a reflection, that sounds very scary also. You're a slave to that. And what if your human does something weird in the shower?
Just knowing that she could be found by looking at her reflection in any reflective surface. I'm thinking if they applied that to that Mulan song, like, when will I reflection show? There she is, get her!
Jesus Christ! I am imagining in my head right now. That got me.
Yeah, season 2 is the idea of autonomy and escape, and it can be up to and including bodily autonomy. Again, the themes are as clear as they can be in a Cartoon Network show.
Right.
Yeah,
Before
exactly.
I forget this, I instantly recognized Wayne Knight as Marcel.
Yeah, I was wondering if Jackson was gonna say that first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I know Wayne Knight's in the show.
Yes. But and then at the very end, can we finally say her real name now?
Oh, I do wanna bring up Jesse's arc for a little bit as well. That scene where he was watching the video of his brother being bullied by his quote unquote friends, like. Oh, that was like super, super hard to watch. And it put a lot into perspective about Jesse's happy-go-lucky nature. And it was really cool seeing that theme of, staying away from the bad kids, like the bad influences, like how that played into the mall car episode when they found that cult that we'll get into later as well. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but his brother Nate was voiced by Sprague from Amphibia.
Oh,
really?
neat.
Neat.
It's like I definitely know that voice, that like right after puberty voice, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Right.
He's like in his 20s now.
Yeah, he was a really good actor. I hope he does more. With
Yeah.
gigs. And
Yeah,
then,
but we have the freedom. So Mirror Tulip is based on someone from Minnesota. Jesse's from Arizona. Imagine the football rivalry.
Oh man.
Yes, and then we have that Mirror Tulip gets a true name from the first thing she sees.
yeah, the whole time she has felt like empty. She's been empty inside, but the first thing she sees is a full
Lake.
body of water and her reflection that isn't trying to kill her.
Yep,
And that's where she got the name. Like you said, Wesley.
Lake. Yes,
It's
and
so
again,
powerful.
help that. Yeah, and Lake is also gender neutral. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, actually, I knew someone growing up who had a brother named Lake. So yeah.
There's an actress named Lake Bell.
I'll be for real. Lake is probably one of my favorite characters that I've been introduced to this year, because like it is insane how well they're able to weave the themes like into her dialogue and struggles with that. Like if you're a kid, you're not necessarily going to get it at first, like, oh, she's a mirror person, she wants to get away from the mirror people. But then like when you get older, they're like, yeah, this is like transcoded all over it. And like it is like the idea of her like wanting to be heard and like not wanting to answer to the thousands of like demeaning names that people constantly call her throughout the book. Like I feel like there have to be a bunch of people out there who like felt so seen like when watching this. It feels like a very validating
Right,
story
and
that they
again, I
told.
think also a side effect of not having it spelled out is it can be applied to a lot of marginalized groups, so a lot of people can see themselves.
Like a lot of people like assume that she's either trans or non-binary, and like whatever interpretation you want to go with, like that's okay, because it's meant to be a reflection of you, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, it was great to see 1-1 again. I really liked the bits with the explainer video and him realizing that, what? Wait a minute, you're asleep. Why am I making these videos? I guess I'm doing them for me, aren't I?
Yes. Right. Then we get to book 3, the hardest hitting one. This one follows a group of actual teenagers.
Full disclosure, I've only seen the first 2 seasons. I actually tried watching the third, but it got taken off of Amazon Prime.
Shoot.
So yeah.
Luckily for me, I did a little yar harring, and that's how I caught up.
Nice.
Hit the high
anyway,
speed.
just so you know, I don't care about spoilers, so go wild, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Holy
so it
shit,
has-
this season is insane.
Yeah, it has much older kids, including probably one of the most evil characters I've seen in anything.
And it's probably one of the coolest, because when people say character arc, like, oh, that person had really cool character development, you always like assume, oh, because they became a better person. Well, that's not necessarily true. That's a positive character arc. Negative character arcs can be just as interesting and compelling. Like
Right.
Megatron from Transformers 1, a very good recent example. And oh
I still
my
haven't
gosh.
seen that movie. I still haven't seen that movie.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
the killing joke is like often seen as the defining example of that.
One bad day is all it takes.
Yeah.
And Simon from Infinity Train. Oh my gosh, I love what they do with this character and just like how they commit to the atrocities that he does, and like they don't like pull back from it. Like it is what he did was fucked up, and the characters eventually realize that this is not like cool what's going on here. But these characters were first introduced in the once again the 7th episode. Well,
Yes.
technically the 6th episode, but they were more of a focus in the 7th episode. So that's what we're going with. And it was a leader named Grace Monroe and her partner in crime, Simon. They essentially have like a Neverland thing going on of convincing kids that getting their numbers as high up as possible and running away from their problems, never leaving the train, is the way to go. And
they went way up. That's why she has to wear the long glove.
and it like that's kind of like the best way for me to think about it. It's like, what if Peter Pan was a cult?
It kind of is if you think about it.
Yeah, but it's like a lot more explicit about it, and like being a horrible influence on impressionable children, outright having a rule being like, don't listen to any adults, they're all lying. And confirmation bias at its finest, by the way, with a lot of those scenes. I appreciate how it's like they give you bits and pieces of like, okay, I understand like a little bit of where they're coming from. Like they're constantly doing these terrible things to like throughout the cars, but they're constantly justifying to themselves. It's like, none of this is real. Like we're doing this for the good of the group. Like it's all make believe. But that changes when they meet a little girl and they're like, oh, it's another passenger, we gotta help. And she's like really she's emotionally attached to a null, as they refer to them, less than zero, the denizens of the train, and that complicates things a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun though. You're just going around, you're thinking, oh, this is great, we'll have some fun, we'll go and party, but then it ggets weird and wild eventually.
Can we talk about that one scene? Because it's like, Tuba is like so chill. I like how deep her voice actor's tone is, and
she's the most wholesome, nicest character in this whole darn show.
And she has a very fun like deadpan delivery, and then until her delivery becomes literally dead, Simon freaking kills her like on screen, and it's really, really great. Like my jaw dropped when that happened. Like it was literally like a Lion King, Long Live the King moment with it, and it was really fucked. But to me, what really got me though, because it's like, okay, I kind of saw it a little bit like, there's no way this character is gonna last like too long with like the way the story's going. What surprised me the most was when Simon reunited with the others, he just straight up admitted right away, yeah, no, I killed her. I did it for you guys. Like, he didn't try to lie about it at all. Like, say, like, she, like, fell or whatever. Like, he thought that what he did, because he is so brainwashed and stuck in his ways that he legitimately thought he did the right thing and that they would be cool with it. And
yeah,
so
the Infinity Train's all about people helping them with their problems, but this goes to show, nope, some people are just beyond help.
Yeah, and I was like so unbelievably flabbergasted by the fact that they committed to that, and I'm just imagining what that would be like as a kid watching that. And oh my gosh, the funeral scene that really, really got me, because the kid they got playing Hazel did a really, really good job. And Kirby Baptiste as Grace, really, like, her performance especially hit me in the feels. And then they started singing that lullaby that they had been, kind of bringing up as a running theme in previous episodes. Like, that got me pretty misty-eyed seeing that play out. And I'm so happy that I got to experience that finally after all these years, because I've been sleeping on this show. I feel bad about that
since it started. I'm kind of known on the internet as the Infinity Train hype guy.
I'm really glad that I can finally join that train now.
Yes, fun, very much intended. And then, of course, we go for the big conflict, and Simon gets the most brutal death I've seen in a kid's show.
That was insane. Like, he was freaking turned into a skeleton, like right in front of us, and he was like horrified screams as well. Because what I love most about that is that those weird cockroach dogs had been like Gomes, thank you. They had been such like a running threat throughout the thing. And it's like, oh, they suck up your soul. They're kind of like Dementors or whatever. So you just kind of have to imagine in your head what that would actually do to people, like if they actually like went through with it. We finally see what that is, and it is insane to think about, like, retroactively, like, oh my gosh, like our like previous hero characters like could have gone this way, exactly the same, as brutally as this. And it's really scary to think about. It reminds me of the, like, I think they're called demigorgons from Stranger Things, but somehow even more brutal than those, because those things just eat you. These things like turn you into like vapor.
They suck out your fluids. But it's funny how when Simon falls under this is how Grace learns the path to redemption. She learns some people are beyond that, but she also learns that's not her, because she at least has some awareness.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that the book ends with like that being the conclusion, as opposed to her like going through the door. Like the path to redemption was started, and like
again, it's like we said. It's like we said before. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but you're still expected to run a marathon.
Exactly. And I think it also helps with like variety, that not every season ends the exact same kind of way. Yeah. And especially that with all like those like very impressionable kids being there, it's like, yeah, she has a responsibility now, and she is like willing to take up that mantle, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Do we ever learn how time flows with Infinity Train? Is it like Narnia time?
It's sort of left vague, because I think the closest hint we get is, well, I mean, first off, we know that the ending of book 1, she goes to video game camp 7 months later. But with book 2, when Jesse is goes back for the first time, Nate says something along the lines of like, "Oh, Jesse, oh my gosh, there you are! Like, where have you been?" And we're told that the last time he saw Nate was like when they filmed that video, and like he broke his wrist. And when we see Nate again, he's got a cast on. So we can assume like some time has passed, like for him to have like gotten that in the interim. So, yeah, I guess another one of those things where it's like left kind of vague. You're not supposed to think about it too much.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And then we have book 4, which is kind of met with confusion, but I think it kind of gets a bad rap. I think people just dunk on it because it's clearly not supposed to be the end.
Yeah, this was clearly supposed to be a more lighthearted, interim season.
It's the bridge for what would have been really real in book 5. It's a prequel, that's pretty clear.
Mm-hmm. But that being said, I still think it's really solid. I like the idea of two people being teleported to the train at the same time being an anomaly to everyone on the train.
And I like how they start to follow young adults now.
Yeah, we're getting some variety with the types of people that can be the protagonists. Like anybody can be the protagonist of Infinity Train, and I really love that about this show is that you really can. The possibilities are literally infinite with what you can do with them, and I especially love the framing of the first episode. How it's like told in a split screen setting until eventually they reunite for the first time after almost a year, and the screen is it becomes a door in between the two of them because he's like coming back to the restaurant to reunite with him, and it's like transitions into the room. Like that was cool camera work. I appreciate it.
And I also really like Kez.
Yeah, Kez, I was like, yeah, I know this voice too. Who is this? Is Eileen from Regular Show. And
Eileen from Regular Show, yes. But I just think she's funny just for how naive she is. She's like that one player in the game who wants to have fun but doesn't exactly know the mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't quite understand human interacting with people quite well. She's like learning about that. To me, the funniest joke was when they were in the art room and she's just like screaming bloody murder at the top of her lungs, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening?" And she's just like, she looks so calm at the bottom of the stairs while she's screaming, and they get to her and she's like, "Oh, good, you guys are here." It's just like, oh my god, it's just like so dedicated to like getting their attention, and she's like having the most like vacant expression while she's like at the top of her lungs screaming.
Yeah. My favorite episode from this section is the art gallery car.
Very, very intense moment there.
That's probably up there with one of my favorites from all of the series, just in terms of getting it into you. And you also learn sort of about imposter syndrome through this here.
Mm-hmm.
Imposter syndrome's the feeling like I'm not worthy of my accomplishment. I shouldn't be here.
And it's interesting how well they're able to like balance the dynamic of these two. Like it doesn't feel like a one-sided, like clearly somebody was like a lot worse in the dynamic than the other one. Like they think it for the Mingi assumes that like it's Ryan's number that needs to go down at first, but they eventually realize that no, like we're literally in this together. Like we both messed up. And we've both got to learn to communicate about that. And
this is a joint session.
It's like, because it's like one of those things where, you did abandon him on stage, but at the same time, he shouldn't have put all that pressure on you all at once, trying to immediately go on a tour and like kickstart something so uncertain. And it was the lack of communication that put such a damper in their relationship, and ergo the band as well.
Right. Yeah, they talk about toxic friendships, but sometimes that toxicity goes both ways.
And the fact that something as simple as like just saying sorry was like the ultimate problem solver at the end of this. And that not only was that what got their doors unlocked, it's also literally all Kez needed to do was just say, yeah, sorry about the like inconveniences I did to you guys. And like, yeah, okay. And except for the butterfly, that butterfly wasn't having it and then got annihilated in a chimney. Poor character actor Margot Martindale.
Yes.
And also J.K. Simmons as a pig toddler.
He's on the show.
was not what I was the casting bingo card I was expecting.
That was the weirdest episode. Like, it was just so out of pocket.
Oh, no, I wish I'd seen it.
Hey, you still can, man.
Yeah, true.
You still can.
If you do, it's not strictly speaking legal.
Stick it to Cartoon Network.
And Zaslav.
Send a message. That's the point of this series. At the end of the day.
Yeah, that's right. This was the little show that could, living up to its name.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to explain why it was both lucky and unlucky. It was lucky because it got picked up at around the right time when CNN was trying to branch out. And I really hate the politics around this, but they said we needed another quote-unquote girl show. Like, come on. Basically, they just had Steven Universe, and it's like, as if I thought we were past the whole boys show, girl show thing.
Yeah, it's like, I think the best way to combat that line of thinking is when someone says, we need another girl show. And they're like, okay, what is a girl show? Go ahead. Yeah. Just it describes to me in excruciating detail what differentiates a girl show from a boy show. Go ahead. And they'll be like, dinosaurs, Barbie dolls. Yeah, yeah. Keep going.
Yeah.
Right, but again, there are girls shows with dinosaurs. Like Barbie had like My Little Pony in the early goings had the Cutiesaurus.
And what is a dragon if not just another version of a dinosaur?
Yeah, though I think not including the Cutiesaurus in Gen 4 was a huge missed opportunity.
I need to look up what this thing looks like. Cute.
But yeah, it was lucky there, but it was also unlucky because it was making the jump to streaming. And the streaming economy is jacked.
Yikes.
Basically, the seasons 3 and 4 were on Max first. So they basically had to perform to the algorithm. And the algorithm was not favorable. So Infinity Train got the axe along with Tide and Seek and Fungies and Ollie's World and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Poor little buggers.
Including pretty much every Cartoon Network show except I think Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think that's still on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, say what you will about the other streaming sites, at least they don't take off their main selling points.
Right.
Yeah. Literally the only place we could have watched those shows, and you ruined it! You blew it!
Yeah.
Hey guys, I think I might have to get ready to go soon. I think I'm needed for something.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Yeah, we're about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, but that's the point of this, to shine a spotlight on the shows that could have had a chance to see what was canceled too soon.
Yeah. And honestly, thank you guys for convincing me to get off my butt and check out Infinity Train finally, because I was not disappointed. And now I'm going to be petitioning for the last 4 seasons to finally get made.
Right. I'll see if I can find a way to watch the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, even if it's just as a graphic novel, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Please.
But,
all right.
Yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for letting us break format a little bit. And we will see you next time.
See you next month for Zootopia 2.
You guys have a good one. Yep.